Alright, fellow hunters, time to take a look at the second episode of the day, which is Mannequin 3 The Reckoning. Following the memories that had resurfaced, Sam had collapsed. Dean frequently tries to rouse him while Sam suffers through flashbacks of hell. He recovers after a few minutes that feel like a week in his mind, and Dean is adamant that Sam takes seriously the harm that remembering anything for the last 18 months could do to him. Sam reluctantly agrees. By way of a distraction, Dean has found a case. A janitor named Steve has been found dead in a locked lab at the Great Falls Junior College in Paterson, New Jersey. The Winchesters investigate the scene but have no leads when a similar incident occurs. A night watchman, Dave, dies at the Seisman & Sons apparel factory in nearby Passaic. Walking around the factory floor, Sam notices the EMF meter takes readings near a mannequin, as it also did near an anatomy dummy at the lab. Sam suggests that a ghost may have possessed the figures, but the boys are confused because ghosts are usually tied to a particular area. Further research reveals that an employee named Rose Brown went missing a year ago. Dean receives a call from Ben, asking for his help because Lisa is depressed and locked in her room. Sam convinces Dean to go, and while he heads off to interview Isabel Brown, the missing woman's sister. At the Braden house, Lisa opens the door dressed for a date. Dean realizes Ben has tricked him. He and Lisa talk, struggling to deal with the fact that despite their feelings for each other, it seems impossible for their relationship to work. Finally, she asks him what he wants, and Dean has no reply. When he talks to Ben, Dean explains that he thinks he's a bad influence and that being alive will inevitably lead Ben to a life of hunting. Ben is upset and charges Dean with abandoning his family. Again, Dean has no reply. As he drives away from their house and back to Sam, Dean remembers the times he's had with Lisa and Ben. At Passaic, Sam speaks to Isabel Brown. She describes her sister Rose as quiet and shy, the sort of girl who was an easy target for teasing and pranks. Leafing through a photo album, Sam realizes that the janitor from Paterson also used to work at Salzman & Sons. Back at the factory, Sam interviews workers, and one in particular, Johnny, seems very nervous. That night, Johnny is attacked, but Sam is there to intervene. He confesses to Sam that he and some workmates bullied Rose, blaming her to believe she had a secret admirer. When she arrived in an apartment for a supposed date, they revealed a prank, and, as she went to leave, Steve grabbed her and she fell, hitting her head on a coffee table and dying. Sam finds out where they buried the body and ends up to assault and burn Rose's corpse. He calls Johnny, telling him the haunting is over, but he is mistaken. Then a janitor returns to his apartment and explains his real doll that he is going to leave town, but she becomes animated by Rose's ghost and kills him. At a loss, Sam speaks to Isabel and reveals that she had one of Rose's kidneys transplanted into her when she was 16. As a result, Rose's spirit can move around, able to go wherever Isabel does. Sam drives Isabel to meet with Dean, and the brothers try to figure out a way to put Rose's spirit to rest. Sam suggests Hoodoo as a temporary solution, but, as they discuss the option, the Impala revs up. Rose is possessing Impala, and she tries to run Dean over. He manages to maneuver it into a wall, but Isabel is fatally injured in the resulting crash. As she dies, the spirit of Rose appears and apologizes before disappearing in flames. Back at Bobby's place, Dean works on the Impala. When Sam brings him a beer, Dean knows that the case was hardly a victory. Sensing how dispirited Dean is, Sam points out that it still saves lives now and again, and their luck isn't all bad. They stopped Lucifer, and Dean got Sam's soul back. Thanks, says Sam. For what it's worth, I got your back. And Dean smiles. Aww. So let's take a look at a bit of continuity from this episode. The last time something possessed the Impala was in the pilot by the woman in white, and like last time, it was a ghost, Rose Brown. And now let's take a look at some trivia from this episode. The title of this episode refers to Mannequin, a 1987 film about a mannequin that comes to life to fall in love, which is a sequel, this episode being titled 3. The murder mystery film The Reckoning from 2003. While looking at one of the all-white mannequins, Dean says, I don't like the way Kim Cattrall is looking at me. This references the star of the 1987 film Mannequin. The scene where the Impala becomes possessed and chases Sam and Dean are reminiscent of scenes from the John Carpenter film Christine, which is a film about an evil 1958 Plymouth. For example, when Dean is running away from the car, as Mrs. tires and chases him, much like Christine did to Moochie in the film. Also, the possessive Paul accidentally caused the death of Rose Brown's sister, much like Christine accidentally killed Arnie Cunningham. Dean mentions that they might meet Snooky in New Jersey. She later appears as a crossroad demon in Blade Runners. Dean and Sam had previously been chased by a possessed Impala in the pilot. The synopsis episode bears an uncanny resemblance to the 2005 film Tamara. The CW's official summary for this episode misspells actor Nicholas Elia with an H as Nicholas Elia without an H. In the scene where Dean walks into Ben's room, Dean looks at Ben playing on his phone and comments, "Well, that's ridiculous. Plants can never kill a zombie." This is a reference to the game Plants vs. Zombies. As for note, however, the sounds coming from Ben's phone don't appear to be from Plants vs. Zombies. There are some Doctor Who references here. The first episode of the new Doctor Who era starts with Rose meeting some mannequins, or actually autons, who came to life and were killing people. Here the ghost's name is Rose, and she makes the mannequins come alive. The guy Lisa is dating is a doctor, and his name is Matt. At the time this episode was filmed, the Doctor in Doctor Who was played by Matt Smith. Nice. So I think this episode is kind of interesting, and hey, but at least we got to check on Lisa and Ben for once, so that's good. So, yeah. So overall, I give Mannequin 3, The Reckoning, 3 Impalas out of 5. But anyway, tune in as we wait to look at the final episode of the day, The French Mistake. So, until then, carry on, my wayward sons and daughters.